Emotional promise. Coco Gauff vows to donate 50% of WTA Finals winnings if she lifts the trophy. The press room in Cancun was packed. Cameras flashed, microphones tangled across the long table, and whispers rippled through the air like electricity. The WTA Finals were about to begin, the season-ending clash of the world's top 8 tennis queens. And at the center of it all sat Coco Gauff, the 21-year-old American superstar who had become not just the face of tennis, but the heartbeat of a generation. The moderator looked up. Coco, one last question before we wrap up. If you win this tournament, your biggest career prize so far, what's next? Coco paused. Her eyes softened. The room went silent. Then, with the calm confidence that had defined her rise, she said, if I lift the trophy, I'll donate 50% of my winnings to girls' education and youth empowerment programs in underprivileged communities. That's a promise. For a heartbeat, nobody moved. Then the explosion. Gasps, applause, reporters shouting questions all at once. It wasn't just a headline. It was a vow from the soul. Why she made the promise. Later that night, Coco sat alone on her hotel balcony, the ocean breeze brushing her hair. The stars hung low over the Caribbean, and somewhere beyond the horizon, the world buzzed with her words. But to Coco, it wasn't about the noise. It was about meaning. She thought about her journey, from a young girl with a dream and a racket in Delray Beach, Florida, to a global icon inspiring millions. She remembered the letters she'd received, from girls in Kenya who practiced tennis with wooden boards, from a young fan in Manila who watched her matches on a cracked phone screen, from a refugee camp in Turkey where children drew her picture on the walls. And she remembered her parents, Corey and Candy Gauff, who raised her not just to win, but to stand for something. You play for more than yourself. Her dad had always said, you play for those who can't. The WTA Finals trophy glittered in her imagination. But now, so did the faces of children she'd never met. Faces filled with hope. Her vow wasn't impulsive. It was destiny catching up. The team's reaction. The next morning, her coach pair Reba and her father were waiting in the training room. Both looked serious. Coco, her father began. That was bold. I know. Pear crossed his arms. 50% is a lot of money. You realize what that means. Coco nodded. I do. Silence. Then, slowly, Pear smiled. Then we'll just have to make sure you win it. Her dad chuckled, shaking his head in pride. That's my girl. For the rest of the day, the mood shifted. Every practice drill felt sharper, every rally more electric. There was purpose in every swing of her racket. It wasn't about glory anymore. It was about giving back, turning her power into change. The world responds. By the time the sun set, her vow had become a global phenomenon. News outlets carried headlines like, Gauff's Golden Heart, tennis star promises half her prize for charity. WTA Finals hero in the making. Coco Gauff's promise to the world. Coco's cause, the moment tennis found its conscience. On social media, hashtags trended worldwide. Hashtag Coco Promise, hashtag Play with Purpose, hashtag Champion for Change. Celebrities praised her. Serena Williams tweeted, Proud of you, little sis. You're changing the game on and off the court. Michelle Obama reposted her video with the caption, True greatness begins with heart. But the most powerful messages came from the kids. One viral video showed a young girl in Ghana holding up a handmade sign. Coco, you inspire me to dream big, study hard, and believe I can too. Coco saw it later that night. Tears filled her eyes. Okay, she whispered. Now I have to win. The matches begin. Day 1. The arena buzzed with life. The stands were packed. The court gleamed under bright lights, and every camera was locked on a young woman in pink. Coco's first opponent, Aryna Sabalenka, the fierce world #1 known for her power. It was a brutal match. 3 hours of roaring serves, backhand bombs, and mental warfare. But Coco, fueled by something deeper, found strength in the storm. At match point, she served an ace down the line. Game, set, match, Gauff. The crowd erupted. Coco raised her fist, then pressed her hand to her heart. That wasn't for her fans. It was for every child watching. Over the next few days, she kept winning against Rybakina, against Swiatek, against Pegula. Each victory brought her closer to finals and closer to keeping her promise, the interview that broke hearts. After her semifinal win, a journalist asked, "Coco, you're one match away from the biggest prize of your career. Do you ever regret making that promise?" Coco smiled. "No, because this isn't about what I lose. It's about what others gain." She paused. Her voice trembled slightly. "I was lucky. I had parents, coaches, and a country that believed in me. But not every kid gets that chance. So if I can use my victory to give someone else a shot at theirs, that's worth more than money." That clip went viral within hours. Fans cried. Commentators praised her. Even rival players posted messages of admiration. The WTA called it the most inspiring moment in tennis this decade. But Coco wasn't reading headlines anymore. She was locked in, beyond the trophy. Weeks later, Coco returned home to Delray Beach. The city threw her a parade, not just for her title, but for her heart. Her grandmother hugged her tightly, whispering, "You didn't just win a trophy. You won the world's faith." Coco smiled. "I didn't do it alone," she said. "It takes all of us. Every fan, every coach, every kid who still believes that kindness matters." At night, when the crowds were gone, she sat by her window, trophy beside her. She thought about the past, the promise, and the purpose that had carried her through it all. And she realized something profound. "Success," she whispered, "isn't about how high you climb. It's about who you lift with you." Legacy in motion. A year later, the Gauff Initiative had funded 10 schools, dozens of scholarships, and mentorship programs in over 20 countries. Former opponents joined her cause: Naomi Osaka, Emma Raducanu, and even Serena Williams. Together, they called it Rally for Change. It became a movement that redefined what it meant to be an athlete, proof that greatness wasn't measured by trophies, but by impact. In a global summit, Coco spoke to a crowd of young leaders. "Sports gave me a voice, but giving back gave me a purpose. When you play for something bigger than yourself, you never really lose." The applause thundered through the hall, and somewhere in the back, a little girl raised her hand and asked, "Coco, do you think one person can change the world?" Coco smiled. "One person can start it, but it takes all of us to finish it." Epilogue. The promise that became a movement. Years later, as her career reached legendary status, people would still talk about that night in Cancun, the night she made a promise under the floodlights. That vow didn't just change her life. It changed thousands. She had turned victory into virtue, competition into compassion, talent into transformation. And long after the trophies gathered dust, her legacy lived on in classrooms and playgrounds, in every young girl who dared to dream. Coco Gauff proved that the heart of a champion beats loudest not when it wins, but when it gives. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.